The Bouncer, Part 4. Ballu was stunned by his transformation. He had become Rajesh Paswan. Adi the Nag had done some magic, which Ballu obviously couldn't understand or figure, but now Ballu was completely like Rajesh Paswan. Though, along with that amazement, there was also a bit of fear. And he spoke to Adi and he said, you know what, this is only temporary, right? I mean, afterwards I can go back to being myself. You can do that, correct? I mean, I know I offered to help and I want to help and there's nothing wrong with this body. It's great. I like the hair, I like the face, but, I would like to come back to being me. Just like the muscles and this just doesn't feel very strong, but as long as it's temporary, I'm fine. Adi, of course, had no patience for all this. He was like, come on, let's go. Ballu was like, go? How? But we're in the police station, we're in the jail, the cops. Adi gave him a look and Ballu was like, oh yeah, of course. Adi snapped his fingers and they were out of the police station. And then Adi tells Ballu, you wait here, I'm just coming. Ballu was perplexed. Where are you going? Adi gestured towards the police station. Ballu was totally perplexed. I mean, we just got out. We just, you use magic, you got us out and you're going back in. Adi stared at him and said, okay, I've turned you into Rajesh Paswan. But now what is our plan? What do? We just hang around here and wait for the killers to show up. How else are we going to catch them? Ballu was like, that's a point. So Adi said, I'm going to go in, I'm going to find the FIR of Rajesh Paswan and try and figure his address. At least we'll have some area, some place to hang around and try and find those killers. Next thing you know, Adi had turned into a cop and he walked in. Ballu was marveling at this man's abilities, man. He was just thinking, if I had this kind of power, I could just walk into Mishtan Bandar and walk away with 4 kgs of rabdi whenever I wanted. While he was lost in this thought, he heard somebody calling his name. Or rather, it wasn't Ballu that was being called, he was called Rajesh. Ballu was lost thinking about the rabdi. And then suddenly Ballu felt a hand on his shoulder and he turned and saw this man staring at him. And the man looked equally amazed and he was like, Rajesh, how are you alive? Ballu was perplexed. I mean, why was this guy asking him, how are you alive? And then it hit him. He wasn't asking him. He was asking Rajesh. And if he was asking Rajesh how he was alive, that meant he was part of the gang that had gotten Rajesh Paswan killed. Ballu grabbed him. Okay, now that you've got you, tell me the truth. Why do you all want Rajesh dead? And who are you all? And what's happened to the Nagas? That guy shoved Ballu away and pulled out a gun. Ballu realized he was in a bit of trouble. I mean, even if he had his original body, the muscular body, it wasn't bulletproof. And this guy was about to shoot him. And right now, Ballu looked like boss Rajesh Paswan, the original, had died in the prison. And now the Ballu version of Rajesh Paswan was going to die outside the jail. And that guy pressed the trigger and the gullet fired. But no, Ballu didn't die because Ballu wasn't there. Ballu was actually had magically moved right outside the police station. And the bullet had gone through clean air. And that man was staring. Ballu was also equally confused as to what had happened. And then he saw Adi. Adi had done his tapping trip and saved him. Okay. Ballu was still trying to grapple with the idea that a bullet had been fired at him and he just escaped, by the skin of his teeth. But Adi had realized that, wait, this is the killer. So he was running after that guy. That guy was confused for a bit, but then he saw Adi running towards him and he quickly turned his gun towards Adi and started firing. Now, Adi had speed, Adi had strength, Adi had magical powers, but he also wasn't bulletproof. So he had to, kind of take shelter behind a car, which gave the killer time enough to jump onto a bike and speed off. Adi chased after him and with his, enhanced speed and all, he might have caught up with the guy if he was running. But even his speed was no match for that of a machine. Finally, Adi was left in the middle of the road and that killer had sped off. Ballu chased up, caught up with Adi. And he escaped. Adi looked a little upset, but then he was like, okay, but at least this proves that Rajesh Paswan was murdered and they are involved in this whole plot. They are if we catch them, finally we'll find out why my Naga friends are disappearing and what is actually going on. So Ballu was like, okay, so basically this means that sooner or later they're going to try to kill me again. Adi said, yeah, but this time we'll be waiting for them. We'll be prepared. But anyway, all that tomorrow. Right now we need a place to, spend the night, catch some sleep. So, do you know any good hotels? Ballu was like grappling with too many things. The fact that he nearly been killed, the fact that he was going to put himself in a chance to be killed. The only thing which came to his mind was the same fancy schmancy hotel where he used to work as a bouncer. He said that, and Adi was like, okay, fine, let's go there. And then Ballu was like, hey, wait a minute, sorry, that's a really expensive place and all. There are lots of other cheaper options and all. And Adi was like, it's okay, don't worry. We've got an expense account. Next thing Ballu knew, he was inside the hotel that he had worked in all these years, but no longer as a bouncer, now as a guest. And since he looked like Rajesh Paswan, obviously nobody recognized him. But even as a bouncer, at max, he'd seen the outside of the hotel, or he'd been outside the disco, or he'd been outside, say, the ballroom at an event. He never had a chance to, completely explore the luxury of the hotel, the chandeliers, the pillars, the paintings, the, huge marble flooring. And he was just left staring till Adi said, shall we go? He agreed. He went in and Adi took Ballu into this magnificent room, and Ballu was like amazed by the luxury of the room. I mean, the room was probably 3 times the size of the room in which he lived with his parents and his brothers and his sisters. There's 7 of them lived in that, and this one room was his own. And the bed was so huge. Ballu was, used to sleeping on one little, not even really a mattress, a sort of like a mat on the ground. Was stunned by how soft it is. And the bathroom, oh my God, that was another dream altogether. Like the shower, Ballu had never seen a shower. He used to go fill water in a bucket and then quickly have a bath. Obviously, he ended up having like a long shower and then using the shower gel and the shampoo and stuff that all was just so new to him. And then the towel, which was so soft, Ballu just didn't want to let go of it only. Finally, when he was done with all this, he just looked at himself in the mirror, tried to take stock of how he was looking at Rajesh Paswan. And then something strange happened. Ballu expected Rajesh Paswan to be, his own reflection as Rajesh, to be looking back at him, except the image in the mirror wasn't Rajesh. It was Ballu, the actual Ballu. Somehow, Ballu as Rajesh Paswan was looking into the mirror, and the real Ballu was looking back at Ballu. And Ballu couldn't figure what the hell was happening. And then he heard a voice in his head. I know who you are, Ballu. I know you're just, you're not really Rajesh Paswan. And I know Adi's turned you into this. And Ballu couldn't figure what was going on. It was like some power had reached into his head, taken control of him. And that voice said in his head, that's right, Ballu. I'm in your head. And now I'm going to find out what the Nagas are up to and what they want to do through you. Ballu was helpless. If you've enjoyed this part, do hang on. There will be more parts coming soon.